Okay, guys. Good afternoon, or wherever you are. It is 11:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is October 8th, 2024. Okay. I'm gonna do another video later on and put it on because I was led to something else, but I just want to put this one on because I know that this needs to be put on. I didn't want to hold it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I was given dreams and some words, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Okay. Um, so I'll start at 3:16 a.m. I was given. Let me make sure. Yes, 3:16 a.m. I was given 608 Strongs and area code. For some reason, I looked at the area code on that. Okay, and I'll do the Strongs at the end of this video. If not, you can look them up. Um, And then at 3:38 a.m., um, I realized that there was an earthquake at Easter Island. I think it was a 6.1. Okay, I think I could be wrong on that. I'm sorry if I am. But Easter Island had an earthquake. So I looked up 1935 Strongs because that was one of the numbers. I can't remember what for, but 1935 Strongs. And I'll give you that at the end as well. But I found it interesting that Easter Island was where the Ring of Fire eclipse was over. It was over Easter Island on October 2nd. Okay, the yeah, the Ring of Fire eclipse. Okay. And then at 8:55 a.m.,
I was given like three things in order, and I kept saying them. And he goes, "It has to be done in order. It has to be done in order." He calls our names, Nukes, and then something else. And then I woke up, and then I was singing, "When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there." That song.
I don't think I've heard that since I was a kid. I don't even know, right? Um, Maybe I have, but I don't know. We just haven't sung it in so long. But I was given three things. I can't remember the third, and he kept. I think I said him in order, but he kept going. It has to be said in order. It has to be said in order. So he was making emphasis that this is the order. This is the order. Okay. He says, he calls your name, right? So rapture. He calls your name. He calls you out. Come hither, right? Nukes. And then something else. And then I woke up, um, and that's when I was singing that song. Okay. And then I was given 8:55 Strongs because that was the time I got that message that I was putting it on my phone. I was told to look that up. I'll do those at the end. Okay. Then at 9:27 a.m.
It's funny, I was sitting here, not sitting here, but sleeping, but not asleep, and I was thinking about playing cornhole for some reason. Cornhole got in my head. And one, corn harvest, right? But two, uh, the church we've been attending they get together and they do a Bible study, and like then afterwards they do cornhole and eat and just kind of gather and stuff like that. And they do it on Wednesdays, Wednesday night, I think at 6:30. They said, and it reminded me of what God gave me Wednesday is shut up. Wednesday is shut up. And I think this Wednesday, because I've been talking about the 9th, October 9th, right? And then I was given, a while back, I was given 8 plus 3 equals 11. So 9, 10, 11 when you count it. 8, and then 9, 10, 11, right? And then I was like thinking about it last night. And I was like, I wonder if that's shut up and then either we're gone or it's 3 days of like a darkness, like it's just 3 days, like where you're kind of like in the belly of the whale or something, and then
Belly of the whale.
you're up 11 is Rapture or something. I don't know. I'm not calling dates, but I'm just trying to figure out like what goes on what or why the dates, meaning we know that we get dates because there's things that are going to happen. Just like I was given, the 7th for October and things like that in 2023. So, and other dates. But, okay.
Okay, we haven't participated that in church. I just found out about it this past Sunday. No, the Sunday before. I found out about it and I was like, oh, you do? That's, okay. And so I found it funny that I was thinking about that, or it just came to my memory like cornhole. And then it reminded me the 3 days, the 3 days of the belly of whale, the 3 darkness, the Exodus, the darkness before they left Egypt. And then I'm reading it as I'm listening to this. He brought up Revelations 8, which that was the next video that I was about to do. So I may hit it real quick so you know what I'm going to talk about. Or maybe he wants me to talk about it now. But I read through all of Revelations again last night because I was like, okay, God, like, open up some more. Like I don't, okay. So then Revelations 8, the first verse, okay. And when he opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. So 30 minutes, 3 days. Is 3 days 30 minutes in heaven? 30 minutes, prayers go up. The 3 days in heaven is just like 30 minutes. To us, it's like 3 days. Prayers go up. We're praying. It's darkness. We don't know what's going on and what's about to happen. And you're just like in this, and something just happened, or we don't know what's about to happen, and everyone's praying, right? And then it goes on talking about that the angels were there about the trumpets. And then the prayers of the saints go up as incense and things like that. Okay. Now listen. Okay. I was given, I'm going to hit this real quick. I'll do it later, but Revelations chapter 9. Okay. October 14th, 2023. So a year ago. October 14th, 2023, I have circled number 9, chapter 9. Okay. And it starts off, and the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. For some reason, that just reminds me of one Lucifer fell to there, and he's doing right. We know the Jacob star and all that stuff is in orbit around us. And then it just reminds me of, and the smoke came out of the pit in a great furnace, and the sun and air were darkened by reason. Reminds me of a nuke for some reason. God forgive me. I don't want to add or mess up, but God forgive me. Okay. And there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Okay, but here's the deal. I have the 9 circled, and I circled that October 14th, 2023. Stay with me because I have a dream that is an urgent. Okay. And then I looked over last night and I have a square, like a cube, like a square, and I have squared 11. Okay. So 11 says, chapter 9, verse 11 says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Okay. And of course, when you look at that, that's 911. That is 911. 911. Like emergency, emergency, 911. Call 911, right? Okay. So then, oh, and quickly, you did realize that I was given Revelations 8 last night, and today's October 8th, right? That I was led to that again. Like, this is like, right? And then that span of 30 minutes that heaven's silent for 3 days. And then the 11, 8 plus 3 is 11, which is 911. And what did it say again? It said, 911 emergency, and they had a king over them, which is the angel. So on the 11, like everything starts like maybe Jacob's trouble and everything. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave that right now. Okay, so at 11:02 a.m.
Had a dream, and I'm just gonna say the end of it right now, but I don't know, we were coming back from a vacation or something, and we were traveling in the car, and we were cleaning out the car. First, me and my daughter were sleeping in the car, and then we woke up, and then we had to get our shoes on. I was like, let me get my shoes on. And then my son came to try and help us unload our luggage out of the car, and then she pulled up. She goes, well, this will be easier. And she pulled up, and she was going to back into the parking spaces. And I told her, I said, watch the front end. You're going to hit the front end. And I was like, watch out. You need to slow down when you're backing up. And then chips went everywhere, like, because they fell, just chips went everywhere because they fell in the front. And I was like, you need to slow down because you can't see if kids run out or someone's in a wheelchair, like something. You can't see if kids run out. And she was like, and I said, good job backing up, but if you don't listen, you won't be behind the wheel anymore, ever again. And she had tears in her eyes, and she goes, I thought I did a pretty good job. And I was like, you did a good job, but you've got to listen. Like, you've got to listen to me, or whatever, right? And
Okay, I need to explain a part of that really quick. I'm going through the first part of the dream really quick. I'm not really hitting any bases, but I want to hit a base that it was me, my son, and my daughter in the car, and we had like luggage and everything in the car. And we were sleeping in the car for some reason. And then my son got out of the car and he was going to help unload. He was going to do things. And I was like, let me like wake up, let me get my tennis shoes on, right? Um, which is funny because I just told my daughter last night, I said, your tennis shoes are by the front door, right? Like in real life. I said, your tennis shoes are by the front door. And she goes, yeah, they're around there somewhere. Why? And I was like, just keep them by the front door in case we have to like get out. Um, you have your tennis shoes to throw on. Like just in case something we have to get out or something, leave. So anyway, I was like, okay, get out. I gotta put my tennis shoes on. And then she had some friends that were asking her to go to a movie theater, which we haven't been to movie theaters forever. Um, and I don't remember there was a name of the movie, but I don't remember it. And it just hit me as I'm listening. I'm like, movie theater, it's like the world stage. It's a theater, right? It's what we're watching the wars and everything right now, how everything's playing out. It's a theater, right? So we're watching the play out of everything, how it's going. Okay.
And so we were gonna get out, and she went in to go get dressed because we were going somewhere. And then all of a sudden, I was in my backyard, or a backyard. It wasn't mine, it was a backyard. And there was a swing set, and I had Judah, my dog. Okay, so it was a metal swing set, like one of those big ones that have a couple of swings, like the old school metal swing sets. And I had Judah, my dog. Judah, okay, which is an American Fox film, but Judah. And then I think I had my smaller dog running around or something was going on. And then I had this other dog in the yard, and it was my dog too, or something like that. Okay. And it was a huge dog. Huge. It was I forgot what type of dog, but just a huge dog. Almost fluffy, but like I'm talking like Clifford the big red dog. Like a huge dog, right? Well, not that big, but yeah, huge dog. Okay. And it like was gonna jump over the swing set. That's how big it was. It could just like leap and jump over the swing set. And all of a sudden it decided like to change its character, and all of a sudden it decided to like change its character, and it grabbed my dog Judah in its mouth by its like leg, its hind leg, and it was like pinning it to the ground and like attacking it, like just holding it and attacking it. And I was like, no. And I was like, no bear, no bear. Let him go. No bear, Judah, Judah. And I was like, no bear, bad dog, let him go. Bear, let him go. Because that was the name of my dog, right? Bear. And I kept trying to get in between them and trying to run and trying to grab Bear and push. And then Bear would let him go in and grab him again to like shake him around like he wanted to flop him around like a dog, like a rah rah. And Cheetah was just like, and just like laying there like he was hurt. And I was like, run, Cheetah. But he was still in his mouth, Bear's mouth. And then finally Bear let go of Judah, and I grabbed Judah by the like to try and grab him, and I grabbed him by the collar to start running into the house. And I was like, come on, Judah, run. And trying to keep Bear away from Judah. And my heart was just racing. It was like so sad. It was so sad. And I just woke up and I was like, my heart racing because I was so sad for Judah. And when I woke up, I realized I had this dream last night or early this morning. It was probably like 4 or 5 this morning. I had the same dream that Bear, that dog, my dog, had attacked Judah. But then he like had him in his mouth because God just brought it back to me that he had him in the mouth and he was flopping him he was flocking him like back and forth like a dog does a rag doll, in his mouth, and he was attacking Judah. Before I had this dream, I had like a word that said there's two prayers, one for judgment, and I can't remember what the other one was for. I don't remember what the second prayer was for, but I remember that there was like two different prayers, and one was for judgment and one for something else. Anyway, when the chips fell on the ground, like when we were talking, I was talking to my daughter about backing up, it was like a whole bag of like Lay's potato chips or something, and they fell in between the passenger and the driver's seat, like up front. Not in between it, but like on the front floorboard. And it was a whole bag, and it was like her chips. She had a bag of chips open or something. They fell, and then I had some chips like in my hands. A couple of chips. I can't remember what type they were, like Cheetos or something, but I don't know what type they were. And I was like, whatever. And I threw on her chips, you know. And it kind of reminds me of when you throw your chips down, all your cards down on the table, like when you throw your chips down, or let the chips fall where they may. Like what happens, let the chips fall where they may. And I was thinking, no big deal. We'll get the vacuum cleaner, and we'll come out, like one of those big garage vacs or whatever. We'll get a vacuum cleaner, and we'll come out, and then we'll just break the chips up a little bit, and then we'll just vacuum them up, like in the hose of that big vacuum cleaner. We'll see if Thomas can help us, my son or whatever. And but also, I remember when she was backing up, she was like about to hit. There was people in a car in front of us, and the front driver's side where the headlight was, I thought she was going to hit him, like, because she was moving up really far, and I was like, stop.
When she was backing up, it was like nighttime. It was like dusk. But then when the dogs were attacking, it was like daytime.
And then she went to back up, and we were backing up, and she was going fast, but she wasn't looking at the rearview camera. She was just looking like over her shoulder or whatever, like you used to have to do, like a lot, And I was wondering why she wasn't looking at the rearview camera. And I realized that we were backing up, because when you put it in reverse, it automatically comes on in the car. But she had the car in reverse because we were moving backwards, but the rearview camera wasn't on. It wasn't working. Like, nothing was working. Like, that wasn't working. So she was looking over her shoulder, her right shoulder, to back up. And I don't know what that reminds me of, that the rearview camera wasn't working. I don't know if that was an EMP or I don't know what that reminds me of on that yet.
So then I felt the need to look up 1110 Strongs and then 1111 Strongs because when I got done recording, it was 1110. And then when I got done that, it was 1111. And I felt the urge to look at both of those. Okay. And then, okay, 11:19 a.m.
So it reminds me of, like, there's dogs on the playground now. Like, the dogs are in the playground. They're in the yard. Dogs are in the yard. Right? And you've got a big dog in the fight now. A big dog on the playground. So the country. Right? There are big dogs in the fight. And when I was thinking of bear, it means, Russia, and bear can mean God's wrath, like, and why I said the prayer for, like, judgment or whatever. And we know that everything's in God's hands, that the tribulation, the great tribulation, is all to bring, his nation back to him and things like that. Right? So it's like, so when the big dog there, right, had Judah in his mouth, he was holding him and throwing him around by, like, his right leg or something. Right? like from his hip joint down. And it reminded me, as I'm laying here, it reminded me of where uh, Jacob wrestled with God. Jacob's ladder, right? Jacob wrestled with God, and he named him Israel, but he touched his hip and dislocated it, so he couldn't run from him anymore. So it reminded me of like God's wrath, God's judgment, right, coming down, and he's getting grabbed by his hind leg, his hip, his leg, um, and getting tossed around like, don't run from me anymore. Like, see that I am your God, you know.
Okay, then I came down because I was urged to come down and put this on immediately instead of waiting. And at 11:40, I was like, God, I need a verse to go with this. I need something to go with this. And as I'm sitting here turning on my computer, he gives me Zechariah 12:9. Zechariah 12. So I'm going to read that to you real quick. Zechariah 12:9. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Okay. Zechariah 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretch forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. Kind of reminds me of the chips, like cut in pieces. Though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. And that was when the big dog let him go, right, Bear? And I was grabbing him, Judah, run, go in the house, right? In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and as the angel of the Lord before them. And it came to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Megadon. And the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Shimei apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Everything's happening quickly. Jesus is coming very soon, and we're not promised today or tomorrow or our last breath. If you don't know Jesus, He's calling. Please come to Him. Accept Him as your Lord and Savior and what He did, His final sacrifice, what He did on the cross. He rose on the third day, and we have the promise of the resurrection, the rapture. We go to be with Him forever. Don't die in your sins. If you die in your sins without the blood of Jesus covering them, you go to hell, not heaven. Don't die in your sins. He's coming. We've seen judgment all over already, and just things happening, bad things happening. Wars, storms, famines, plagues, sicknesses, evil. Come to Him. He's coming quickly. Even without putting a day, we don't know our last breath, but He's coming quickly. Okay, here are the Strongs. We're starting with 608. 608 Strongs is I shut fast. I shut fast. Close. Shut up. Okay. To shut fast or completely. It is also you. Y-O-U. You. You. Okay. Then I said the area code. And I think it's Wisconsin. Let me make sure. Wisconsin. Um, there's a part in Wisconsin. Madison, La Crosse, Platteville, Beloit, and most of the southwestern Wisconsin. Okay. Green, Columbia, Vernon, Genoux, Grant, Sauk, Dan, Rock. I don't know. 20 other counties, it says. 269,840 people. Okay. Then, 1935 Strongs. Remember Easter Island. 1935 Strongs is splendor, majesty, and vigor. Um, Natural majesty, color, splendid, honor, glory, beauty, authority. And then it is also, which reminded me not of Easter Island, it reminded me of God. Okay. But this reminds me of everything else. It is also, 1935 is also condemned to death. At the point of death, condemned to death. Okay, then 855 Strongs. Now I'm saying these, and I wish I would have done them as I got them because they go with the word I got or the dream I got. So you can think about what they are when you listen to this, or um, I may put this at the beginning. I don't know. I don't know. No, I'll leave it at the end. Okay, 855 Strongs is, um, sorry, my signal is horrible today. Invisible, disappearing, invisible, hidden, invisible, disappearing, hidden, rapture, us. Okay. It also means a plowshare. A plowshare. Let me go down and see something. Yeah, a plowshare. Okay. Then, then 110 Strongs means known, known or acquaintance, known. Okay. You're known, or it's known who's doing these things. Okay. Or an intimate acquaintance to God. So you're known because of Jesus, right? You're known. Yeah, John 18, I just laid my eyes on it. John 18:15. Um, the disciples were known or was known to the high priest, was known to the high priest, who's our high priest, Jesus. Okay. And then 11:10, I should be telling you these. 11:10 in the Hebrew means to waste, lay waste, to lay waste, devastates. Okay. And then 11:11 Strongs in the Greek is to mutter, murmur. I whisper, grumble, mutter. Um, generally a smoldering discontent. Okay. And then it also means devastator, a Moabite king, the devastator. Balak, Balak, the devastator. Okay, then the next one. Okay, then as I was doing this video toward the end, he told me, he brought my eyes to the time, and I hope y'all believe in that, but he speaks in everything. I mean, he speaks in the creation he made. He says that it pronounces that he's God, that, how can you deny him by looking at the creation? Like, everything speaks and speaks for him and of him, right? So 12:12 Strong's in the Greek. Again, sorry, my signal. I apologize. It means clear, evident, manifest, to make it manifest, clear and evident. What is properly and fully clear, manifest, plainly evident because of inner perception, grasping what is unmistakable, self evident. Isn't there a verse that says we hold these things to be self evident, the truths, right? Um, um, is it under here? Maybe. Okay, okay. And then in Hebrew, it means in the shadow, protection of El to Israelites. You're in the shadow under the protection of El. That's pretty good. Isn't that pretty good? That's pretty good. I'm looking to see if. Okay, and if you're asking what's El or who is El, I'm going to give you, and I'm going to read it so you don't think I'm just going off my mind. Okay. God. The most common name for God is the Hebrew Bible. In the Hebrew Bible is El, E-L, meaning God, derived from a Semitic language The root meaning of El is might, strength, power. This name of God occurs widely throughout the Bible. Sometimes the word El refers to the pagan gods, like little e, okay, of nations surrounding Israel. But El is the one true God, El or Elohim. Okay. Um, El, when used to mean the supreme God, refer to the same being as Yahweh. Yahweh, the one supreme God, the one and only, the great I am. There is no other name above all names. El, Elohim, Yeshua HaMashiach, the great I am. Put your trust in him. Put your trust in him.